present to you.
My name is Beverly DeGale. I am the co-founder of the ACLT and I am on retdat.net.
Fantastic. I always do this. I always say I'm never going to talk on camera, but I always do. We are really learning, and it's very good that you don't know, because obviously Beverly's here to inform you, to inform our audience. Ruth Miss Ignorance here as well to learn. So we're just going to really take this naturally, ask a few questions, and get to know more and see if we can help save our community. So, yeah, the first question, Lee.
All right. So the first question is, what is the ACLT? What do they do?
The ACLT is the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. We established ourselves back in 1996 when my son, Daniel, was 8 years old. He had been diagnosed with leukemia 3 years earlier in 1996. Initially he was put on chemotherapy and radiotherapy treatment to beat the illness. But after he completed a 2-year course of treatment, he relapsed, which means that the leukemia came back. And so we were told by Great Ormond Street Hospital, where he was being treated, that his only chance of survival was to receive a matching bone marrow donor. So we thought, okay, that's fine. How do we find a donor? And they said, well, actually, unfortunately, bone marrow matching is race specific, and even more unfortunately, very few black people register as donors. And so the chances of Daniel actually getting a match is 1 in a $250,000.
Wow.
So that was all that myself and Daniel's stepdad, Oren, needed to hear. We set up the ACLT to raise awareness, to encourage the black and mixed race communities to step forward as potential donors, in the hope that we would find Daniel a match, and to also assist other families of black and mixed race backgrounds who were in the same situation.
Okay.
Not with the respond.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Email address for you, please, Henry.
Do a recycling thing.
My other question was, in regards to government support, do you receive any support from, say, like black MPs or MPs of ethnic minority? Would you say that you receive any support from those people?
I think that we have had verbal responses in that the ACLT is a great charity and hopefully they can pull through this. But beyond that, to be honest, no.
Okay.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
No, that's all I can say on that.
Alright, so another question following on from that was in regards to football players, but I'm just going to go across the board and say, like, people of African descent in the entertainment business. Football, because really majority of our young people are into football. Now, have you received any response from any of these footballers who, let's say, this only affects them, basically?
No, in all honesty.
Wow.
There's been some communication, but nothing yet.
Okay.
You know, people talk a lot, but we want to see some action.
Well, that's it.
And I mean, I don't really want to kind of push this onto any particular group. Footballers, because a lot of them in the Premiership are earning around 80k a week, and possibly could do something if they felt that they wanted to. But actually, this is a community issue, and although footballers earn 80k a week, some of them, yes, they could do their bit, but actually we could all do our bit, because even if you could donate £3 a month, that £3 a month is helping to sustain the charity and allowing us to concentrate on the work that we need to be doing, and not having to, as we are at the moment for the next 3 months, putting on fundraising events everywhere, including the event that you just highlighted. That event is one of many that have been organised by some wonderful people who have heard the situation that the charity is in and are trying to do something to stop the closure. It would be great if some footballers contacted us or came on board in some shape or form and wrote a cheque or offered to attend or an event or to say something. I think that is part of the problem, but only a small part of the problem. There is a general mistrust with regards to being on a register which requires us to take either a blood sample or a saliva sample from people to see if they are a match, because there is a fear that that information could be passed on to third parties, which actually is not the case. There's also a lack of understanding about what would happen if you are a match for someone and the procedure that you would need to do in order to donate bone marrow cells. And people just generally haven't got the time. There's a lot of apathy and just generally a lot of ignorance about this subject matter until it hits your doorstep. And that's when everybody wants us to drop everything and concentrate on it.
But another vital question that I wanted to ask is, does it affect the organisation that this is a black problem in terms of media coverage?
Not for the ACLT, I don't think, because we have a great team that works around us that we do not allow those sorts of issues to stop us from doing what we do. We have been very fortunate in being able to get media coverage right across the board, and it all started, and because the whole appeal started around my son, who was very good at communicating his situation from the age of 8. He was happy to sit on camera to talk about his leukemia and what people needed to do. The media has stuck with us through the years, and so when we announced that actually we have a financial crisis, we were very fortunate in that Sky News, ITN, the Guardian newspaper, and of course our own press picked up on the story very quickly and wanted to cover it. We've got a new government and they're making some major cuts, and so we have been very clever in trying to bring in the cuts that have been announced into the problem that we are facing. There's a recession, and people are pushing their money into. In fact, charity is really beginning at home now. And of course, charities are suffering because of that. We put our head above the parapet and said, actually, we're in trouble. And so we've been very fortunate that the press have wanted to cover this story to show that actually this isn't just an ACLT problem, or this isn't just a white British problem, this is a problem that affects us all. And so what are the government, what is the NHS, and what are we as communities going to do to support charities like the ACLT? Once you've done that, Verna will just explain very quickly, and then we take a saliva sample and that's it, you're on. And then in about 6 weeks you'll get a donor card coming through, and it's just your own donor card that you just push aside somewhere, and if ever you start to look like a match for someone, you'll be contacted. Alright? Simple form.
Okay. Money where the mouth is.
Do you want one, Shaka? Or are you going to do your recording?
Yeah. I'll present our rep that Leroy Rose actually filling out the form, showing how simple it is to do. Our CEO, it's ignorant, Ruth Henry, doing the same thing.
That's happening that, you know, people aren't really engaged in what we do, and that actually we can all individually help make a difference. So do your thing and give me 10. Thank you.